At first, it didn't seem like a big deal. When Cardi B and Stefon Diggs were first linked, it caught people completely off guard. Music royalty meets NFL superstar. A crossover nobody predicted, yet somehow it made sense. They both carried undeniable charisma. They both thrived under pressure. They both understood what it meant to dominate headlines and move culture with a single post. Fans were intrigued. Some were skeptical, sure, but many were genuinely excited to see Cardi smiling again, glowing in a way that suggested she might have found something new, something different. Public appearances were analyzed frame by frame. Who leaned into whom? Who posted first? Who commented under what? The internet treated every small interaction like a clue in a mystery novel. For a while the narrative felt light, fun, even hopeful. Cardi seemed happy. Diggs appeared confident. It looked effortless. But as quickly as the excitement began, the tone shifted. It started with absence. No new photos. No playful exchanges. No visible support during major moments. Then came the digital breadcrumbs. Observant fans noticed that certain posts quietly disappeared, and that specific interactions stopped altogether. In the world of celebrity relationships, silence speaks volumes. Questions grew louder. Did they break up? Was it serious? Was it ever real? And once those questions began trending, there was no stopping the avalanche. Cardi, who has never been known to hold her tongue, stayed unusually quiet. That alone sent shockwaves through her fan base. This is a woman who built a career on raw authenticity, who goes live to clear rumors in real time, who laughs at gossip and drags critics without hesitation. So when she didn't immediately respond, people sensed this wasn't minor chatter she could brush off with a joke. Meanwhile, Diggs maintained his composure publicly, game-focused, professional, no public shade, no messy back and forth, just calm. Yet that calm almost amplified the noise. In a culture driven by instant reactions, stillness feels intentional, and intention invites interpretation. Soon blogs grew bolder. Anonymous sources claimed tension behind the scenes. Others suggested their demanding schedules made things complicated. A few went further, hinting at betrayal or disagreements kept strictly private. None of it confirmed. All of it viral. The narrative was spiraling, and the pressure was mounting. Then finally Cardi spoke. Not with chaos, not with rage, but with something heavier, more controlled. When she addressed the rumors, her tone wasn't explosive. It was measured, and somehow that made it hit harder. She didn't scream. She didn't rant. She didn't drag anyone. Instead, she spoke like someone who had processed something deeply. She made it clear that people rarely see the full story, that relationships are layered and complicated, that what looks perfect on the outside doesn't always reflect reality behind closed doors. She didn't throw accusations. She didn't confirm every rumor, but she didn't deny the split either. And that quiet confirmation was enough. Fans hung on to every word, every pause, every facial expression. Was there hurt in her voice? Strength? Relief? It felt like all three at once. She talked about growth, about learning, about protecting her peace. And when Cardi B says she's protecting her peace, that isn't casual language. It's a boundary drawn in bold ink. She hinted that sometimes two successful people can admire each other deeply and still not align long-term. That sometimes timing matters more than chemistry. That sometimes love, or whatever version of love was there, isn't enough to outweigh lifestyle differences. It wasn't dramatic. It wasn't scandalous. But it was real. And real can be more powerful than any explosive headline. The internet exploded anyway. Within minutes, clips of her statement were everywhere. Some fans praised her maturity, saying she had grown tremendously. Others speculated there was more she wasn't revealing. Memes flooded timelines. Reaction videos popped up instantly. Hashtags trended globally. The culture dissected the situation from every angle. Some sided with Cardi automatically, arguing she had endured enough public relationship drama and deserved stability. Others defended Diggs, pointing out there was no evidence of wrongdoing. Then there were those who believed the entire situation had been amplified beyond reality by social media obsession. Beneath all the noise, one thing was undeniable. Cardi looked different. Not broken, Not defeated, but reflective. This wasn't the Cardi who once aired every emotion without a filter. This felt like a version of her who understood the weight of her platform. Someone who knew every word could shape perception. Someone who deliberately chose calm over chaos. And that choice may have shocked people more than any allegation ever could. For years, the public has watched Cardi navigate relationships under a microscope. Every high documented, every low magnified. Each time she came out swinging, defensive, emotional, unapologetic. But this time, there was no swing. There was acceptance. She spoke about moving forward, about focusing on her career, about pouring energy into her children, her business ventures, her music. She emphasized that not every ending needs to be messy to be meaningful. That sometimes two people can part ways without a villain in the story. That perspective divided the internet again. Many didn't believe it was that simple. Social media thrives on heroes and villains. Clean endings don't trend like scandals do. People wanted drama. They wanted a twist. They wanted receipts. Instead, they got composure. And maybe that was the real bombshell. When a public figure refuses to feed chaos, it disrupts the algorithm. It forces audiences to sit with ambiguity. And ambiguity makes people uncomfortable. So they fill in the blanks themselves. Talk shows debated it. Podcasts analyzed it. Comment sections turned into battlegrounds. Yet Cardi remained steady, posting about work, motherhood, everyday moments, subtly reinforcing that life continues. Diggs did the same. No cryptic captions. No rebuttals. Just performance and professionalism. And in that shared silence, something unusual happened. The story slowly shifted from scandal to reflection. Fans began discussing the broader implications instead of hunting for hidden betrayal. They talked about how public relationships carry immense pressure, about how social media accelerates intimacy and destruction at the same speed, about how two people can genuinely try and still realize they're better apart. It's easy to forget that behind headlines are real humans navigating real emotions. Fame doesn't eliminate heartbreak. Success doesn't guarantee compatibility. Chemistry doesn't override logistics. Cardi's statement, though brief, carried undeniable depth. She didn't present herself as flawless, nor did she shift responsibility entirely onto timing or outside circumstances. She acknowledged a simple truth. Sometimes chapters end. That straightforward admission spoke volumes. In a culture where public separations often explode into accusations and endless online exchanges, her calm approach felt different. It wasn't loud. It wasn't defensive. It was deliberate. By choosing her words carefully, she reclaimed control of the narrative without exposing unnecessary details. That balance is rare, especially in an era where oversharing feels almost mandatory. She provided clarity without surrendering privacy. What truly surprised people wasn't scandal or shocking revelation. There were no explosive claims, no attempt to damage reputations, no emotional outbursts designed to dominate headlines. The impact came from restraint, from visible growth. Audiences are conditioned to expect chaos when relationships end in the public eye. When that chaos didn't arrive, the quiet composure became the headline. There is strength in choosing not to escalate. There is power in refusing to turn personal pain into public spectacle. By remaining composed, she shifted the focus away from gossip and toward evolution. It became less about what went wrong and more about recognizing when something has simply reached its natural conclusion. Her handling of the situation highlighted confidence. Confidence in her decision, confidence in her future, confidence in her ability to move forward without explaining every detail to the world. Silence, when intentional, can speak louder than confrontation. In this case, it did. Perhaps that's why the moment feels significant. Not because of who she separated from, not because of rumors circulating online, but because of how she navigated it. In a world driven by outrage and spectacle, composure can feel revolutionary. As days pass, the frenzy will likely fade. New headlines will replace it. New couples will trend. New rumors will dominate timelines. But this moment, this calm, deliberate response, will linger for those paying attention. Because in a culture that rewards outrage, Cardi chose poise. So what really happened between Cardi B and Stefon Diggs? The full truth may never be public. Maybe it was